Play fake. Beathard sets up deep in the pocket. Goes down the field for Smith.
Has some time. Right corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Steps up, does it. Pass is caught. That'll move the 6. Tyrone Tracy. There he goes. Tracy. Towards the end zone for the Iowa touchdown.
Welcome to Week 10, Big Ten football. We are recording on a Friday evening because El Papi has to listen to the games live on the radio tomorrow. So that's why if we die, we die. That's very pessimistic all of a sudden. We tried doing a soft launch at 5. May knows about soft launches. I got my dick joke in early. Dear God, help us all. Soft. Get it? Because the penis is flaccid until. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Here's the issue, May. I feel like we have to do a little recap of what happened before we can go in, because we didn't do a recap show. And so what we could do is we could talk a recap a little bit and then cut it off and then start on a game, or we could just start on week 10, or we could just tie this all in together. We do wrap up of the team we're looking at and then talk about the game they're playing this week. I think we should do that.
I mean, maybe we should put out a missing persons report for Shane.
I'm worried. I'm a little worried.
I think he might be in Michigan trying to fluff Harbaugh. It's going to be okay, Daddy. It's going to be okay.
We're good. Do you think Harbaugh's okay? So, I listened to Steve Deace in the Michigan podcast, and he came out with an episode regarding this entire controversy. And it was one sentence. I'm not kidding you. Like I tuned in. He read his fucking ridiculous 10-minute ad. And then he let's see here. And then he came out with an episode on October 31st, episode 248, 31 minutes long. And after the first 10-minute section of reading ads, he said, "Oh, this is all I'm going to say about the Michigan scandal. We kicked your butt once. We're going to keep kicking your butt. And that's it." And then he went on to interview someone else. So I feel like, and then he did some sort of poll about how people feel about this scandal, and 37% said they felt nervous. And he called all of them wussies, which he's a Christian man, so I guess he can't say pussy, but wussy. And then 31% say they're pissed about it, and then the rest say they're not worried. So you've got 37% of your base worried about this scandal. Now let's just go down this Michigan wormhole. Okay, so
did you see the breaking news just a couple minutes ago?
No.
They fired Stalions. So.
Oh my Lord! Oh no!
Yeah. So
it's all done then. It's over. The whole.
That's what that's what they're hoping for, is that firing him is gonna brush everything away. But there was another thing that came out, and they believe the team who hired the private investigators to look into this was Ohio State.
Yep. I did see that. It appears that the police have showed up at Ohio State coaching headquarters. They're going through computer files there, I guess, to see if search records in Michigan were hacked. I mean, this is very Is this all this is? Is just like Ohio State trying to throw
Salty.
and see what will stick to try to take down Michigan because they know they can't beat Michigan? Is that what this is?
Could
Like,
be.
as long as Harbaugh now, I feel like that's the Michigan propaganda. This is how Michigan fans and Michigan podcasts have been portraying this, and Michigan alumni included, is that this is rough. You shouldn't be cheating, all the moral BS that goes with that, which we talked about before. But then they also then turn it around and say this is really just Ohio State trying to disrupt our coaches so that because if Harbaugh stays there for the next 20 years, is Ohio State ever going to win again? It's so funny. 3 years ago, Ohio State was trumping everyone consistently. Ohio State fans have 3 not even horrible years. They just have 3 years where they don't meet Michigan.
Yeah.
And they are
And they finish inside the top 10. Like, they have these great runs that teams would die for.
And they're committing federal sabotage on another public university to get to their play calls, or or to investigate what's going on. I mean,
that's hilarious.
I love football. I love football. Like on the game, the X's and O's. That's the type of football I love. But like, I sometimes think about what some of these coaches go through, and what do you think? Do you think Harbaugh was all in on this, or do you think this is just, it really begins and ends with Stallions?
No, I think he had to have known. You can't, like, nowadays, I mean, our Bryles, Joe Pa, all this shit, all these Urban Meyer multiple times, like, you just hope to God that it's like a mob boss. You gotta know when to tie up your loose ends and who's gonna take one for the team and go sit in prison for 30 years. I think Jim knew. I think he does now. I kind of don't think I want to say I think he cares a little bit because the NFL didn't want him last year. That's why he came back to Michigan. So Minnesota Vikings were like, sorry, but no, thank you.
Oh, thank God they said no to that. God damn it. If Jim Harbaugh had been our fucking coach. Now, last week, you saw what, let's see, last week, Michigan, Rutgers, Iowa, and Illinois all had bye weeks.
Yep.
So this has been stewing for 2 weeks. Do you think they fired Stallions Friday night in a news dump? They fired Stallions Friday night, news dump night, when you get rid of everything that you don't want to talk about for the next week. And now they're going to go in. Who are they playing? Who are they playing tomorrow? Purdue.
Purdue.
So another. What's the spread on this game? Do you know?
Purdue, Michigan is Michigan minus 32.5. I think the NCAA, now the Big Ten commissioner, I think Barry Alvarez, everyone's involved now. So I don't think just firing Stallions is going to help. Like, I think Michigan did that to try to
ease the blow, sort of how they had Harbaugh suspend himself for four games.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
Does the Big Ten revolt if Michigan gets away with this scot-free?
No. But I don't know. I feel like Michigan's just powerful enough. It feels like to me, like, is the scenario different if Ohio State goes in and beats Michigan? And then let's say Michigan somehow still scrapes into the playoff and gets crushed again. Then do they come hard after Michigan after that? Now let's take a different scenario. If Michigan goes in, rolls on Ohio State, rolls through the national championship, do they come down hard on Harbaugh then? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
which, if Michigan proves to be a false contender in the NCAA playoff scheme, and you're bringing in Oregon, and you're bringing in USC, and you're bringing in UCLA, and you're bringing in Washington, you can afford a few bad years out of Michigan now.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
what we
can,
talked about last week. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so I mean, it obviously seems like the NCAA is not going to do anything until the season and championship are over. Am I wrong in thinking that? I mean, what have you heard? Is that the chatter? Like, no,
Yeah, that seems like that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a wait until it's over, and then slap them if needed. Yeah, I don't see them. I don't see them doing something now. I mean, maybe it'll
be
be
bad for
interesting.
college football.
Yeah, and then if Ohio State does lose to Michigan, it's just it's going to be, oh, we lost because we cheated. They cheated. Blah blah blah. Like they're going to die on that hill, no matter what.
Yes.
Um,
Almost like you
so
got to give the nod to Ohio State, which they have, which is interesting. Ohio State got the number 1 ranking in the much awaited college football playoff.
schedule or rankings.
Rankings, yeah. Thank you.
Rankings.
All right, I'm trying to like update the, as the show goes. So I appreciate you. I just wanted to, copy your words. You said Ohio State will lose to Michigan. That was a hot take right there.
I don't know if I said that. Okay. I mean, fuck Michigan.
Hot take. Hot take.
Like
no, Devin.
yeah, Devin's right. Fuck Michigan.
I do not think Ohio State is a legitimate contender, but I could be wrong. I don't think Penn State was really.
Penn State was a bamboozler.
Now, Penn State comes out. Do they play? Let me see here. Do they play? All teams are playing. So Penn State is playing Maryland. Yep. Which they need to stomp on Maryland. Penn State's not out of this by any means, but they need help.
Yeah.
They need help. All right. Well, let's talk about that. Penn State at Maryland. What's the spread for that game?
Penn State -8.5.
8.5. Penn State.
I'm going to take that all day. Maryland sucks. It's fat bahooey. I mean, they've been playing so bad lately. Like it's kind of working nice because what Michigan had Michigan State, now Nebraska had, or no, who did Michigan State play last week? Because no, Minnesota. Okay, so yeah, it'll be nice because Penn State, and then I think we play Maryland next week, right? Nebraska does. Yeah, Nebraska plays Maryland week 11. So
you're hoping Penn State beats up on Maryland, and then you can just sort of pick up scraps after that.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I didn't see who you picked for the Purdue Michigan game. Were you picking the 32?
The Purdue Michigan.
7:30 night. Oh, it's 7th. It's a night game at Michigan. Not good.
I don't know if that's a big spread.
You think Vegas is daring Michigan, or you think they just think Michigan's just that good?
I don't know. Michigan's coming off a bye.
It's a scary one. It's a scary one to pick.
I don't think Michigan's covered a big spread like that. I'm going to take Michigan to win, Purdue to cover.
What did you boys think of the conspiracy I shared with you about how Michigan shared the signs to other schools so that they would lose and move Michigan into the top 4? That's a great question. We talked about it last week. We went deep into that whole wormhole that you shared with us because we definitely had thoughts on that. I can't go down that wormhole again. We're looking to the future. There's positivity, Devin. It's a positive Friday night. We're looking forward to the weekend.
And Tennessee fans took that wormhole or took that Michigan slander was like,
Oh,
"Yep,
yeah.
they did it because they were scared. They did it because old bucket top." You know, and it was just like, yeah.
I'm
Michigan. They said
gonna take
no.
the under. I'm gonna take the I'll take Purdue. Not the under, but I'll take Purdue with Michigan to win.
Yeah, you'll take what I'll guess. So
Yeah,
so
I
what
feel
it's
like
saying.
Purdue, and and every time I do this against Michigan, it's burnt me this year. So why not keep going? Because it's got to pay off at least once this entire season. I'm horrible at betting. All right. So now we were doing Penn State at Maryland, which is 8.5. You said you're taking that all day.
I'm taking Penn State all day.
I'm going to ride with you, Penn State 8.5. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, let's do a number 1 Ohio State, the Ohio State at Rutgers.
Oh man. Rutgers is just a tease, man. It's they play so good for a half or a couple quarters, and then like, oh, Rutgers is gonna get because we're gonna turn it on, and it's gonna be 10-0 Rutgers, and then Rutgers is gonna go get blown out by 30. But Schiano, I mean, 18.5.
For Ohio State, that's not much.
No,
That's not much.
give me Rutgers to cover. Give me Ohio State to win.
I had you down as Rutgers saying it's good and we'll win. Did I mishear that?
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Rutgers.
I think I did. Devin says Ohio State all day. I agree with Devin. I'll take Ohio State all day. I think Ohio State's got something to prove here. They're number 1. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is good. This is good football coming up these last 4 weeks.
Yep.
You know, we're past that stage where we're sad. We're halfway through college football. And now we're into the nitty gritty where like your stomach's turning.
Yeah.
You're just hinging on every failed third down conversion.
Shotgun and 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and you're like, what are we doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is some harsh words from Jake.
There you go,
Welcome,
Jake.
Go Big Red. You know what? The better Nebraska's hopes are when we play you guys, the better it is for me when I get to tune in an hour after you guys lose to us and watch all the podcasts, whine about how the refs lost you the game or how next year's your year or just, whatever BS Husker fans come up with.
We're going to take the end of that corn cob and flop it right on your little Hawkeye.
It wouldn't hurt because our corn is superior. You're weak, mildly,
I've got my Iowa has bad corn t-shirt.
Yeah. Say what? Do you really?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. Iowa last year, I think, had
they have like the best corn in the nation.
Yeah. So I mean, you brag about your corn all you want. You can name your state. You can name your state mascot after corn, but it just don't match Iowa corn.
It's funny too, because like Nebraska is not at the bottom, but like there's many states that are like have better corn than Nebraska, which I find hilarious.
Jake wants to start a turkey bowl trophy, and whoever wins the game gets a turkey trophy you get to hold on to. But he wants me to pay for it too. So it's his idea, and then he wants me to pay for the trophy as well. And I'm too in honor of standing with Israel. I'm too Jewish to pay for a trophy that I'm going to get all of the time.
Can we put our Venmo or something on here, our PayPal for donations?
Oh yeah. I mean, see if Devin would donate. Appreciate donations. Okay. All right. Moving on. You're picking Ohio State all the way, correct?
I'm not. That's you and Devin.
Yeah. Me and Devin are picking Ohio State.
I'm picking Rutgers to cover. Ohio State to win.
All right, let's get on
So we
to.
be writing these down, or we're gonna have to go back and listen.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to go back and listen on those long, lonely nights when you're sitting at the desk. If you don't mind doing that. Illinois
Garbage.
at Minnesota.
I need Fatty McSinkerson to beat Minnesota. We both need Minnesota to lose. I mean, I need Minnesota more to lose, but Illinois sucks so bad.
So does Minnesota. Minnesota sucks. They're a horrible team. You know, I don't care. They beat Michigan State barely. Congratulations. Minnesota on this false feeling of rise. You know what? I'm gonna pick Minnesota. What was it?
It's Minnesota -1.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota just all the way. And then that way, when they take on Ohio State, I get to see the Big Ten championship hopes drift away from their eyes. They're on my hit list more than Nebraska is this year. So if we don't make it,
I've got the lipstick out, and I've got Minnesota written on the wall.
Absolutely. I hope you guys.
If they don't call me back and apologize for being jerks, I'm getting the sniper rifle ready.
Okay. All right. That's too much. It's too much. You can't say that with makeup on your face.
Sorry.
That's
sorry. It's not a real sniper rifle. It's a assault gun. Assault gun.
Airsoft.
I wouldn't waste my time dropping to Minnesota anyways.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. We're passionate about college football here. Passionate. Okay, so here we go. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we?
We got Wisconsin versus Indiana.
Oh,
Wisconsin is favored -9.5.
Good catch. Against Indiana, I'll take Wisconsin all the way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I even want to
talk
about that game. Nitty gritty.
I want to say both of our games are on Peacock, but I'm looking at it and it says the Nebraska game got moved to FS1.
Oh, you are on FS1. Congratulations.
Because I was going to be really sad having to watch on Peacock. This is the second game for Iowa that's on the old Peacock.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They evidently want NBC to fail miserably in streaming. So they're like, you can have the Iowa games where offenses average 19 points a game for both teams together. So
do you think they'll go out to the 50 and write in the initials BF in their cleats, pay homage? Or
we want to talk about this now? Is it time for the Brian Ferentz discussion?
Well, let's get our picks in. All
right.
And then we can talk about how a woman fired a man.
Okay.
Because he sucks.
Okay. Iowa at Northwestern. What's the spread for that? And the
Iowa -5.5.
What's the over under?
6. No, I don't know. Hold on.
It's like I can see it. I'm going to take the
31.5. Over under 31.5.
And it's what in Iowa's favor?
-5.5. This is on ESPN. It's supposed to be 48 degrees.
Ferentz is okay.
Oh, you're playing at Wrigley.
Yes, and Ferentz is all pissed about it. So Ferentz is saying, I watched the press conference on it. Should have clipped it. But so the coaches will be coaching from one sideline. So they're splitting the yes. And he's like, they asked him, "Oh, are you excited? Any fond memories of the Wrigley Field when you were a kid?" And he's like, "I'm sure there was at some point, but when it comes to football, it's a logistical nightmare because you've got tunnels built for single file and you're trying to shuffle 90 men in pads through these tunnels, and then you have to share a sideline with the other coaches. So it makes it a logistical nightmare when it's 4th and 1 on the goal line and you can't watch it from the goal line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be so and it's gonna be
Closest you gets to 50, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
God, I can't tell. I can't tell if there's a blitz. I can't tell.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that would be interesting to figure in because like you're gonna definitely want to pick side of field. Um uh because I would think you'd want the fourth quarter on your side.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You want that fourth quarter on your side.
Is
So
this the first time they've done this at
I
Wrigley?
think they've done it before for other teams, but I don't think Ferentz has ever done it before, and he's not happy about it, which makes me, the old Codgety man is already pissed off about enough. So, who knows what team we're going to be getting out there? Um, it's not going to be good either way, and so I just can't bet against Iowa against Northwestern. As awful as Iowa is, I feel like we're going to score a touchdown on offense next week, and we're going to have we're going to have a 30-yard touchdown drive for sure. Our for the win? No, it'll be like third quarter with 10 minutes left, something like that. But our defense is going to go absolutely freaking nuts in that game, and it's going to be pick city, and they're just going to hit harder. And I think Iowa pulls out a win. 5.5 is not a lot.
I mean,
I'm going Iowa all the way. I'm going Iowa all the way. It could be a horrible decision.
let me take a drink of this so I can stand what I'm about to say. Okay, I'm gonna take Iowa all the way. Yeah, give me the Hawkeyes. Give me Jimmy.
Taking the Hawkeyes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the Northwestern has a better quarterback. But Deacon Hill is just is such trash. I mean, he's so bad. I don't know.
But we got Joey sitting in the back, and we just need one good hit, and we got Joey running around, dinking and diving like Brett Favre, giving Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz heart attacks.
Yeah, fuck it. Give me Iowa. I'll jump on your.
Welcome aboard, bud. Welcome aboard. There ain't no beer in heaven, so you might as well drink it here. Nebraska at Michigan State. Let's go.
Here we go. Nebraska is -3. -3. In East Lansing.
-3? You guys are going to destroy Michigan State.
We should.
Nebraska
we should work them like a part-time job.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I can excite you, Devin. It's sorry your wife isn't doing it for you anymore, but you come here on Big Ten Breakfast, and I know
You
breakfast.
get a plate of ham and sausage.
The breakfast food gets him worked up in the morning. It's not. Yeah, no, I'm not going to go there. All right, put that away. Okay, so we got.
We're going to beat Michigan State.
Yep, I think all the way. Yep.
I'm afraid though, because we are due. I don't know if we're actually. No, I can't even say that because I don't think we're due for shit football.
I know
because I think we put it behind us. I think that Minnesota and the Colorado game were enough. I think this fucking Matt Rule is just. He's it. He's him. I think we're heading in the right direction. I hope that Satterfield takes his sorry ass self and goes up to the press box again, and we score 31 points on Michigan State. And we're gonna win this game, and we're gonna be bowl eligible for the first time since 16?
This is a bowl eligible game.
Yeah, baby.
This is bowl eligibility.
We're gonna go bowl!
Who do you play after this?
Maryland.
You're getting it tomorrow, bud. Congratulations to the Nebraska fan
Do we
base.
have confetti? Can you
know?
drop like?
You're asking. I mean, here, I'll give you this. I can give you this.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Uh,
let's hold the applauses. We still have to play tomorrow at 11 a.m., which is horse dookie, but
you suck.
no.
we don't suck. If
No,
we win this game, I think we're at the top. Are we at the top of the West? We'll be 6-3.
We would have to lose.
Oh yeah, you would have to lose, and Wisconsin would have to lose. But it would be a three-way. It'd be a menage a trois. Or no?
Yeah, some people can't talk about menage a trois; they'll get in trouble with their wives. But yes. So okay, all right. I'm taking Nebraska all the way. So
good. Really, the only thing that's separating our picks is the Ohio State game. We match everything else.
It's because I'm afraid of losing anymore. So I figure if I'm going to lose, I'm going to take you down with me. I think I was able to turn a couple of your decisions, Northwestern versus Iowa. I helped make you choose an emotional based decision,
which was horse pick.
Yep, it'll definitely come back and bite you. I want to identify these things, because I don't put any money on these games because I can't, because I live in the great state of South Dakota, where the only place I can gamble is inside a casino. And I feel like you have a problem if you go to sports gamble inside a casino. I don't know if it's just, maybe that's just a, faux pas moral perception.
Probably.
Maybe like maybe I get the woman addicted to slots, like a penny slot machine, and then I can sneak over and we'll have to strategize on that. Okay. What do we got left to talk about? Anything? Time to wrap up.
What? Yeah, we got there was this news story that came out that this lady fired this terrible bag of bones that doesn't know how to call a proficient offense.
You don't need to be sexist during this whole operation. There's a children's hospital listening. Okay,
yeah,
you gotta be.
They're probably dying or in tears because watching that offense. They're like, I can't have it. I can't take it anymore.
That would be
close the blinds.
That'd be a great Bumblebee article. Yeah. Offensive coordinator fired after he contributes to more deaths than the way feels. Yeah. Okay, so what do you want to know about it? What do you want me to talk about? You want me to start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll start from the beginning. Brian Ferentz sucks at his job as offensive coordinator. There's been rumors that Kirk holds reins on it, but the people that know on the inside say that's Brian Ferentz's offense. That's his deal right there. And all these people asking for Cooper DeJean to come over on offense to spark something. Yeah, this is an Iowa fans thing. He has taken so many snaps on defense and special teams. You're going to kill this kid.
I think he's a Thorpe semifinalist, isn't he? Or he's on the watch list?
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Every year he's been amazing. So, he's good at, you don't need to change that. Our offense has been a joke for 3 years, and it has progressed to
gotten worse.
Yes, it's gotten worse for the last 5 years. Sorry, I get emotional when I talk about this because Iowa had great average offenses that every now and then would have a Kirk Cousins flash in the pan moment where, every third down was getting converted against Ohio State. And you're like, is this Iowa? We haven't had that for 5 years. Since 2017. We haven't had a functional offense. We haven't had a dominant O-line. We haven't had a dominant run game. And we definitely haven't had dominant passing. So, but
you've had NFL talent on that team, which blows my mind.
You can produce 8 tight ends that go to the NFL, 4 of which are the top receivers in the league in their positions, like 1 through 5, 4 of them are Hawkeyes. And yet you had TJ Hawkinson and George Kittle lining up on opposite sides of each other 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever that was. And you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do anything. Okay. And it's like
DJ and Fan.
the talent has been there. Josie Jewell had a crazy game against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Yeah, and our defense has always been there. Our special teams is like maybe once every 6 years we have an off year with special teams, but it's rare. It happens, but it's rare. Our offense, I've had 3 offenses in my 25 years as a Hawkeye fan that were great. We had 2002 Brad Banks. They went to the technically it was against USC. It should have been the Rose Bowl, but that was when they. And then we had the year of Sean Green, which I'd never seen. I think that was 2008. He was running just like 200 yards a carry, just
phenomenal
ridiculous. And it was that O line, And then last year, I've never, or not for offense, sorry. And then the last great breath of Iowa offense, I felt left with Stanzi. When Stanzi left, there was no more flashiness. There was no more attempting to score through trickery. It was it started to go downhill, and that's directly related to Brian Ferentz. And of course, it involves Kirk Ferentz as well. But it was Brian Ferentz's offense. It was his recruits. It was his boys, his teams. Obviously, he was recruiting great talent. But
limiting them to look at the good wide receivers that left the program to transfer out. You know what I mean? And it's it makes you scratch your head.
Well, and this whole thing, it's fitting it scratches your head because how it ends scratches your head now equally so, because it ends a week after. We have a week off. We go through our bye weekend, and then that Monday, it's announced that Brian Ferentz, through the interim athletic director, so Gary Bartle left. I forget her name already. Ghost or what was her name? Shelley or whatever. Is an interim athletic director. Now they believe with this move of firing Brian Ferentz that this, she got the go ahead, like let's take care of this now. Yeah. And I can see in a couple of ways how this is smart. It works real well with keeping your fan base engaged the last 4 weeks because now there's hope at the end of the tunnel. It also allows for recruiting to not suck. Because the recruiting is I forget when the early when can kids commit to a team, the early commitment, it
December.
Early December, so there's like six weeks I think before that happens. So if you're going to wait till after a bowl game, you're going to miss out on that whole first wave. So so from a recruiting aspect, it had to be done sooner rather than later. And obviously I was going bowling. So because they already got their 6 wins.
Well, they
did not go over well with Kirk Ferentz. So like, I understand the logistics of everything. I appreciate the fact that she told us that he was getting fired. As a Hawkeye fan, I was now allowed to start, I know it sounds stupid, but grieving. You know what I mean? Because like Brian Ferentz, I have also grown up with Brian Ferentz. I remember when he came onto our O-line and hearing his name called and, him winning awards and then paying attention to him when he went to New England and rooting for him there, and then him coming back and being excited that perhaps the Ferentz era could never end. And I think that's really what people wanted. They wanted a Kirk Ferentz to just go another 25 years and just give us our 10 wins, 10, and every now and then a run at a championship. We don't have to win it, it'd be
give us a run.
but give us a run. And that's, I think, was the hope. That was my hope when I heard Brian was coming back, and then like I saw our offensive line start to falter. And I was like, how is that possible with a man that grew up and learned in one of the best offensive lines in the 2000s was the Iowa's offensive lines? All 5 of those boys went on to have great NFL careers. How does that happen?
Yeah.
So, so I'm glad that I'm allowed to not be mad at him anymore, if that makes sense. And now I think you've also done something where you've allowed you allow everyone to sort of root for him. Like, hey, you got 4 last games. You already know you're getting fired. You might as well go all out.
So he has it. So he's still on the team. She just told him at the end of the year, you're done.
Right. And yep. So he's not fired. He's going to be let go at the end of the
so she gave him the pink slip.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And so
I heard a lot of your fans wanted him to stay on as your tight ends coach. I hopped into a couple Iowa forums, and they were
I think you're seeing on the Midwest kindness where no one wants to fire a guy. They just don't want him running anything important. You know what I mean? Like hey man, we like you, and we don't want to be a dick to you. And, but he did it to himself with this contract with Barta and it being turned public and the count to 325. And, it was and Pat McAfee and the Pat McAfee show on ESPN, his co-host is a Hawkeye fan. It was relentless. It was relentless. And then, of course you had game day, and everyone was getting shots in on Iowa. It was a national joke. And, it has to stop at some point. The national joke has to stop. So this is how you fix it. Kirk Ferentz not happy about it. Obviously,
a lot of whispers that he could go at the end of the year.
Now he came out with it. So he came out and interview the next Wednesday, which is his press conference day. And he said he would take some subjects dedicated to this, and then he was going to focus on the team and the game against Northwestern. And so in the very limited responses, he said, I'm focusing on the next 4 games. He was made aware of the published statement 3 days before it got published to the press. So they were given plenty of time. It was discussed with him, but it was not his agreement. And he wanted, and he didn't come out and say this, but you could definitely tell this was an issue. Like he's in the like his mentality is he's in the trenches right now. Like he's paying attention to all these gears and he's trying to figure out how to win these games and who can do what and all this stuff. And it's, very methodical for him. And he doesn't like to be disturbed by especially something like this type of publicity. So like
is Kirk more of like a CEO type? Like why not, if you see your son drowning in the pool, why not stick your arm in and get him out? Like why? I never did see any of that with him.
Well,
with Brian at all.
So Kirk Ferentz is interesting because he had a short NFL career coach with the Ravens as an offensive coordinator, and his time there
was it with Trent Dilfer?
It left. You know what? That's funny. I think no, it wasn't. It was
because that would explain Iowa's offense.
It was
great defense.
Yep.
Shit offense.
It's that. Who was the coach of that team that won the Super Bowl for the Ravens?
Brian Billick.
Yeah, he was a Billick. He was definitely a Billick's undergrad, and so was Hayden Fry. Like that was just that coaching mentality tree was very effective, and that is Kirk Ferentz. And I think his ideal is, our offense sucks, but we won 10 games, we won 11 games. So what do you want? You want a flashy offense that puts your, look at Colorado is a prime example of what Kirk Ferentz is most fearful of. is getting an offense that just is throwing the ball nonstop, causing turnovers, and then putting your defense in horrible positions to establish any type of dominance.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work well when you go to play against the big boys, that type of football.
Yeah.
But you got to have an offense at some point too, like, and
yeah, something. I mean, like, yeah, it just.
So Ferentz, so Brian will coach through the end of this year, and then, and so there was rumors that Ferentz is going to leave after this season, but he came out with a statement the next day saying that some people have misunderstood my philosophy of focusing on these next 4 weeks as my stepping aside at the end of the year, and nothing could be further from the truth. I'm looking forward to the challenges the next years bring and working with my coaches. So it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere. So then the question becomes, who becomes our offensive coordinator? And there's rumors that, who's the guy that Josh McDaniels.
You don't want that shitbag anywhere near your program. Let him run back to Daddy Bill. And
there are legitimate rumors that it will be Josh McDaniels.
There's
but
no way.
I hope not.
I mean, at that time, just be like, see what old Pat Fitzgerald's doing, or
there's belief he's going to be coaching. He's going to be coaching, and that's the problem too. Like, if you're an offensive coordinator, do you really want to play
Scott
for
Frost
Iowa?
was a good offensive coordinator. He needs a job.
Don't you dare! That would be funny though. I'd accept that troll. I would accept that troll.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, my thing is, if Parker stays and Kirk comes back, and you have a strong off defense, go find you one of those younger offensive minds, but someone that has a more balanced approach. You don't need you don't need Ken Briles, or you don't need someone like that wants to throw the ball 70, 50 times.
Here's my problem is I almost
Dabo might be out of a job.
Dabo Sweeney for offensive coordinator for Iowa. Just bring in this. Oh man. Here's the problem.
Everybody goes to church on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Why can't you?
Pants.
Why can't you? I want Ferentz to step down after this year.
You want Kirk to step down?
I do.
Captain Kirk?
I do.
Listen, that press conference that we watched when they got bamboozled on that punt return for a TD, the way he was talking, I felt like his wife of 90 years died, and he just didn't know. It broke my heart listening to him speak. I was just like, maybe just,
I honestly don't think he has it in him to build another coordinating staff. He doesn't even have to. He just got to replace offensive coordinator, but I don't think he has it in him to take on anyone flashy or someone he has to explain theory to, or you know what I mean? Like, he just wants someone he can plug and play, like his players. And the problem is that means Iowa's offense won't get any better. And so then we're just delaying the inevitable march of the death of Iowa football.
And you want to get ahead of that, because with the way NIL is working and everything, that's free agency. So Iowa's going to have to pay more money. Nebraska's going to have to pay. These teams are going to have to pay more money, and these coaches are going to have to get on board. Look at Dabo. I guarantee he's regretting not being aggressive in free agency and bringing in those pieces that they needed, because now everyone's like, motherfucker, you make $11 million a year to do this? No, thank you. I don't want that on my sideline, but you're right. You have to get ahead of it. If you're Iowa, don't move out of the way right when the train's in front of you.
Yeah.
You need to be the next town up, hearing the bells come off,
And I'm worried that Ferentz is just not he can't do it. I don't think he can do it, and And if he can't do it, then Iowa's going to start losing football games left and right. I don't know if you saw our schedule for next year, but it's Ohio State, UCLA, Washington. Those are big games. And then the rest of the West, Minnesota, which shouldn't be a deal, but it is now. So Minnesota, Iowa State, there's very big chance that Iowa doesn't go bowling next year, which be the first time in what, like 24 years,
Something like that. Yeah.
So, um, yeah. So, I mean, like Jake said,
Let's schedule those schedules. I looked at Nebraska's too, and I was like, God bless it. Whew.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Nebraska's sitting good right now for this launch of next year. There's definitely teams out there that, Rutgers isn't looking too bad. And Iowa's got to be careful because they're going to lose their spot. And all of a sudden, before you know it, we're going to be Indiana, we're going to be Illinois, and it's going to be rough, And thankfully, the Iowa fans won't tolerate that for long. But it will happen if we don't, ask Stoops to come coach for us. So,
Oh, Bob.
I want Bobby.
Bob, come save us, Bob. Wouldn't that be? Because Bob is, he's done his little AFL and shit. Like he misses coaching, but he doesn't want like the full.
And he would come coach Iowa football.
Yeah,
he would.
He would be like, I'll do that. I didn't want to do like full-time shit all again, but if Iowa came calling, I would.
And at least, as a transition coach, 3, 4, 5 years, then pass it on to one of your brothers or something. I don't know. There's stuff to be done there, but like obviously he's not going to be there for 25 years, but I mean, if he got us into the playoffs, not even win if he got us to win in a playoff game, oh my God, he could stay there till he was 90, like honestly. So who knows? Who knows? It's exciting. It's good for the Iowa base. I think she made the right choice.
Who else was on this list? Josh McDaniels cannot. That hurts my stomach. Like
mine too.
Iowa cannot be. They cannot be for real with that. I mean, I'd hire John Gruden and his dirty emails over Josh McDaniels.
Here's the thing. It is all speculation. The Josh McDaniels ties are to Ferentz and the Belichick's. They have a football farming agreement, in certain areas, as far as similar styles of coaching. So, which is why Belichick is getting crushed now too. So, which Belichick, it might be his last year too. It's sort of sad. I wanted him to get one without Brady really bad.
Yeah. And he missed on Mac Jones.
Rough.
But Josh McDaniels is just a fugazi. I mean,
That's Good Sports did a whole segment on Josh McDaniels. If you get a chance to watch it on YouTube, you should. That's Good Sports. He's out of Denver, Colorado, but big Broncos fan. Did a whole series on how horrible of a human being Josh McDaniels is. It's great. 16-minute watch, and it's worth every second. I learned a lot of stuff, and I tend to agree with him. I think McDaniels is a little bit of a oh, Jake, that's a dick thing to say, Jake. Can you imagine?
Urban has talked. There's rumors of Urban wanting to maybe go Michigan State, but I mean, Urban just does that. Like he'll stick his little finger guns in the wrong hole, and just to become relevant again. He did it with Nebraska. He just does that. He's like, oh, I might be interested. Just kidding.
Michigan State. That would make me happy. Can you imagine Urban Meyer coming into Michigan State and then just like whomping on Michigan every year?
I mean, I'd love it. Yeah. But...
That's why he said it, because he understands Big Ten football and he knows rivalries. And that's, that got Michigan. I bet that got Michigan fans fired the fuck up if they heard that.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to you, Kaiser. Do we have any outside bets we're talking about? I didn't see what the rest of the top 25 is.
I
for
think it.
game.
Let me look. I think it's quite spicy. You want top 25?
Yeah, let's just sort of go through here.
So
See what's
we got an interesting one with Texas and Kansas State.
Ooh, yep.
We've
11
got
o'clock.
Notre Dame and Clemson.
Mm.
Missouri, Georgia. Ooh, what's the rivalry between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State? Bedlam Bowl?
Oh, that's this week.
Yep, that's 2:30.
Dang.
Yeah, Washington, USC, LSU, Alabama.
Florida State have anyone significant left to play this year until the championship game?
They play Pitt. They play Miami next. Ooh, they play North Alabama, and then they end the season with Florida.
Man, it'd be nice if Florida could play spoiler in that game because I don't really think Florida State's that great.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
I might have to pick Oklahoma State to beat Oklahoma. I think
Ooh,
that's where I'm going to go
spicy.
because the line is Oklahoma is favored -6. Take Oklahoma +6.
California, Oregon, Kansas, Iowa State. I'm going to pick Iowa State to beat Kansas.
You're going to pick Iowa State to beat Kansas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're favored by 3.
I
wish if Shane
okay,
would
okay,
miss.
let's do this one. Washington versus USC.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Let's do this one. Washington versus USC.
Washington is favored by 3. Washington has looked absolutely dog ass the past couple weeks. But USC can't stop a fart in a blanket. So I think Washington beats USC. Washington or Cal almost beat USC. There was like 90-something points scored in that game last week. So USC is Caleb Williams in his painted fingernails.
Washington isn't built for that razzle dazzle, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if they go back to how they played against Oregon in the earlier weeks where they scored 50 fucking points a game, USC can't come. I don't think Washington's defense is better than that. Like they're not going to allow USC to put 48 on them. I don't think.
I'm gonna go USC.
Are you?
I am.
I might change mine to LSU beating Alabama. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me jump on that SEC. Who's primetime have? Oregon State. And Oregon State is favored by 12.5. And Colorado just brought in Pat Shurmur to be the co-offensive coordinator.
Why do they need a co-offensive coordinator?
Deion's trying to spice things up. That Sean Lewis that he brought in, that was a head coach at like Toledo. I don't know if he demoted him or
I tell you what, his boy has been getting beat the fuck up.
Yeah, that offensive line sucks. Yeah. They suck so bad. And that's why a lot of people are thinking Pat Shurmur got promoted to because he was an analyst, but he's got really good offensive line pedigree. Pat Shurmur does. So instead of like firing the offensive coordinator, the offensive lineman, they made Shurmur co-offensive coordinator. So
it'll be interesting to see how he's adjusting. Because how many wins do they have? 4.
Colorado, yeah, they have 4.
So they need 2. They need 2 to go bowling. You think they're going bowling?
No.
Who they got to play last 4 games?
So Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. They ain't winning any of those.
What a schedule. You know what? This is a good baptism. I think Dion will have this team up and running by next year, and it will be fighting for a playoff spot in 2 years. So
not next year.
If
If he can get the money together, because the first thing he's going to do is bring in all the 5 stars he can get his hands on for that offensive line.
Yep.
And then Warren Sapp's coming over next year to fix the defensive line. Like you said, you better get him this year because you ain't getting him. Which I think, whatever. Nebraska plays Colorado next year too, which I thought was interesting. That's 2 years in a row.
All right, bud. We got to wrap it up. I guess maybe we'll be able to record tomorrow evening for a recap. We'll see. We'll update you as the day goes on. See how everyone's schedule looks. Anything else before we go?
Go Big Red.
Go Hawks.
Trying to break the chain. Martinez up the sideline. Still running. Look out. Taylor Martinez. Look around. He's got legs. Martinez. Whoa. Taylor Martinez. Touchdown. Huskers. Play fake. Beathard sets up deep in the pocket. Goes down the field for Smith.
Has some time. Touchdown!